And I just want to reiterate those figures you just saw on your screen because they're hugely important to what could happen next with the Adani Group. The total debt of the Adani Group stood at 2.4 lakh crore rupees as of March 2024 against 2.23 lakh crore a year ago. 2 months after, remember, the Hindenburg report was published. That was in January 2023. Will fundraising be challenging for the Adani Group from here onwards becomes the big question. Now, Adani Group debt as of March 2024, 2.4 lakh crore. March 2023, like I said, 2.23 lakh crore, 2 months after the Hindenburg report. Now, let's talk about the fundraising challenges that face the Adani Group. It has already been forced to abandon a $600 million bond issue in the US in the wake of these bribery charges by the Department of Justice in the United States. It has similarly withdrawn from a 20,000 crore FPO. This was last year after the Hindenburg allegations in 2023. Global fundraising efforts will presumably take a hit in the wake of this entire saga. It already has, as a matter of fact. Top banks investors are likely to avoid exposure to the Adani Group because of the heat surrounding it, both from the Hindenburg report as well as the Department of Justice charges and the indictment. And fundraising in other countries could also now be difficult. Remember, contracts have been cancelled in Kenya, and there are noises being made in other countries as well. Now, the US indictment against Gautam Adani and his associates alleges that the use of secret nicknames to conceal dealings was part of the MO, the modus operandi. Adani, the central figure, was reportedly referred to as Mr. A, numero uno, or the big man. This was all in communications as part of evidence towards the indictment. Another key associate, who is also the CEO of Adani Power, Vineet S. Jain, was allegedly codenamed V, Snake, and numero uno -1. According to charges, these code names used in private communications were reportedly intended to obscure the identities of Adani and Jain while discussing their activities and facilitating bribes. Now, the code names that you've just seen right now, I've just read them all out, both Gautam Adani and Vineet S. Jain. Now, in the 48 hours since the Department of Justice indictment dropped and became public, there has been a vast number of conspiracy theories. And I just want to read some of them. We're not giving credence to any of these conspiracy theories. Some of these are wild. Some of these merit a little closer attention. But I'll just tell you what some of these theories really look like. US extraterritorial targeting. Remember that the United States sanctioned a former Bangladesh army chief in May 2024 before Sheikh Hasina's fall. That ex-army chief was sanctioned for alleged corruption in Bangladesh, not in the United States, but it was being done just before the regime change in Bangladesh. The United States had justified it, calling it strengthening democratic institutions of rule of law in Bangladesh. The Adani case, his prosecutor says, he's committed to rooting out corruption in the international marketplace. The other very familiar conspiracy theory is linked to billionaire philanthropist George Soros. Is there a link there? This particular flowchart that you see on your screen right now has gone viral. It's doing the rounds, which shows Adani's prosecutor, Brion Peace, recommended as an attorney to the US courts by Chuck Schumer in 2021. Schumer became Senate Majority Leader in 2021, said to be close to George Soros, and his son Soros donated $16 million to Schumer's PAC. So all manner of conspiracy theories have been doing the rounds about why this has happened, why Gautam Adani has specifically been selected for this particular indictment. Some of these conspiracy theories are wild. Some of them merit much more serious attention, especially when they come from serious strategic affairs analysts and experts like Brahma Chellaney, one of India's most renowned. And I want to show you what he publicly put out on his social media in the form of a post. He said, and I want to read out Brahma Chellaney's post because this merits closer attention. He says, the US indictment of Adani for alleged bribery in India fits with a pattern of extraterritorial targeting of chosen entities or individuals. He takes the example that I just read out of Sheikh Hasina's fall in Bangladesh. The US imposed sanctions on an ex-army chief for alleged corruption in Bangladesh. Now, while the US justified its sanctions on General Aziz Ahmed by citing a geopolitical goal, which was strengthening democratic institutions and the rule of law in Bangladesh, it has linked its charges against Adani to Adani's company having raised $175 million from US investors for a $6 billion investment in solar power project, energy projects in India. The total bribes the company paid in India, as alleged in the indictment, were higher than the comparatively paltry capital it raised in the United States. Now, I do want to say from us all here on India Today, we believe that an investigation on all fronts must be conducted in a free and fair manner if it is merited, whether it is by the SEBI, perhaps by the Supreme Court itself, to see what these charges really mean. There are reports, including on Bloomberg, to suggest that an informal inquiry has already been started by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, because no matter where things stand, if wrongdoing has happened at any level, especially bribery or corruption here in India, it must be investigated by Indian agencies.